the other time how to, this is the ingredients you'll be using, I mean the materials you'll be using to create something amazing like that. So Control N to create a new page. You should be familiar with that by now if you have watched the past 3 classes, or to create a new page. So it should be horizontal. Yes. Let's choose something. Yeah. So just create that. So that's actually the way we create our this thing. I assume that the most of the people here are actually at the last class. That's actually why I didn't have to explain all of that all over. Okay. Now the first thing we'll be doing is actually bringing our objects, and let me cancel this control. So the page we are working on. So I can just always drag it anyhow. Yeah, just drag it to the page. Or you can go through the long method by clicking export and all of that, or dragging it from where the downloaded file here. There are different ways you can drag your image into Photoshop. Yes, it's because I have my materials on the other page. That's actually why I can drag it inside. Delete. So we've been able to achieve this, like bringing our image into our artboard. Yes. So right now, what we want to do is actually to manipulate, meaning we want to manipulate this image, meaning that we want to try to achieve something. I've deleted it. Try to create an interesting concept out of this, and then we are going to bring our materials, which is actually this money. Bring in this money, and let's arrange it somewhere here. Checking the time. So now we've brought our image here. We brought our image very well arranged. Now, first thing we want to do, if you are working on Photoshop, you can see the layer panel now. Be able to know which layer you are working on, because what we want to do is actually more of photo manipulation today. So in case you are manipulating an image on another layer, it will affect what you are doing, and you don't want to, you don't want to start all over again. Anyway, so you have to create another new layer. You can just follow my mouse to see this end of the layer here. You'll see this plus sign. Just click on it. If you click on it, you create a new layer. Yes. If you can explore other options over here to see their functions. You can see the delete. You can see the other options like that. So once we click on it, we have a new layer. To name your layer, all you just need is to double click on the layer, and then double click on the text on your layer, I mean layer 1. Once you double click on it, it will be editable. You can call it what's it called? Money manipulation. So like that, so you want to rename it, probably you want to know, so that in case if you are working on Photoshop, you have multiple layers, so you can easily identify what you are working on, or someone would be working on that same file. You can always double click it and properly name your layer. But the truth is that I don't think designers have time to be naming layer like that. I don't have time for that. The same time, I'll probably send in the raw document to someone, and I hardly do that. You get. So the next thing we'll be doing is actually removing this background. If you notice now, this background is white, so it's looking at, although our artboard is actually white, but it's looking as if I add a color to it. All I do is just to click on the last layer of the artboard and use Alt Delete. Now you can actually see that it's actually what our image is not PNG, meaning it has a background. You get. So we want to first remove this background. How do we remove the background? If you are here in our last class or in previous videos, you will have seen how we were able to remove background, but I'll go over it again. You click on your quick selection tool, just follow my mouse. You'll see the option. If you can't see the option, you can always right click on it on your toolbar. Yeah, on your toolbar. So you can always see options of other things that are there. You'll see magic wand to object selection. So once you click on any of it, and because of time, I don't like to be selecting my image like using other tools like lasso tool and all that. I just use quick selection tool and use simple select subject, so that it just selects automatically instead of me trying to drag all over it. And this is actually a very simple image where you can pick colors so easily. Yeah, so just if once you click on select subject, you're able to see that you select, you're able to select your image. All right, so sorry about the distraction. Okay, so once you click on that, you've been able to select an object. What you just do is just click on, just follow my mouse in all of these things I'm doing. Click on select subject. Click on select subjects. You see, you can actually edit what you are selecting over here. Then you can increase the contrast. You can, do a lot of adjustments you want to do over here. I can work on all of this thing, but we don't really need many of it here for now. You get, so I prefer to, once I'm done with removing my background, I love to add layer marks to it. You'll see the options over here. Add layer marks, add what's it called? Documents and all of those things. So once you add layer marks, it gives you ability to always go back to your original image to make adjustments. Again. So you'll see it. Once going forward, you'll be able to make such adjustments. And once you click on it, okay, you've seen that we've been able to remove our background. It's as simple as that. We'll be able to remove our background. So because we want to, convert this picture, we want to use what we call perspective to be able to build an image around this house itself, so as to create an interesting concept. We will first click on our image here. Click on our image and click on a new layer, because we want to actually work on a new layer. Because you can't just work on the image directly, because in case you make any mistake, you will have to, you need to go back to your image. But once you work on your image directly, you will not be able to make such corrections pretty well. Yes, let me check if you are still following. All right. So just pay attention. If you have any question, call my attention. Okay. Sorry, I'm actually using a public cafe because of the network, so I guess they are working on a lot of stuff today. All right, so once we get to this level now, we can actually, I've created a new layer, and then first thing I'll do is actually first that I want to make this wrap around this side. So I'll just, sorry about that. I'll just hold drag it so that you guys can see what I'm doing very carefully. Once I hold it this way, I do what? I hold my control. Then I click on it. See my mouse now. The moment I click on it, it will change to something, a marquee tool. You'll see it on it. Once I click on it, it selects automatically. So once I click on it, I click Ctrl C to copy. Then to deselect it, I click Ctrl D. You get? It's as simple as that. So once I now go back to the layer, I'm going to, effects, wrap the manipulation on. I just go on it. Let's say, what's it called? Let's use this money manipulation layer. That's it. So once I get there, I can always come to my file. So I went to filter the vanishing points on getting there. Now, can you see me moving my mouse now? Can you see me move my mouse? I beg answer. Can you see me moving my mouse now?
Yes.
Okay, that's actually very good. So that's actually the way I was. This is actually where I was when you draw my attention to the fact that you can't see my mouse. So I did what? I pasted this object. I copied it the other time. Now I paste it here. Ctrl V to paste. The reason why I did the marquee stuff was just because I can be able to select it and paste it on this vanishing vanishing points in a way. So once you paste it on it, you click on T to be able to make proper adjustments to it. Once you see. So once you click on T, you can actually so if I drag it on it now, you can see the way I drag it now. Yeah. Okay. So once you can see the way I'm making adjustment just to make it fit in. Okay. To make it fit in inside here. So you can see it's fitting in. Let me make that adjustment. I see it's fitting in. I just want to make it look very great. Now, you've been able to achieve that one. Once you achieve that, you can just click on your OK. So if I remove this, the reason why if I remove this background now, you'll begin to see the perspective now. You see, if I do it directly on the image, I won't be able to, once I click on this eye tool, I won't be able to see the original distance. So I can always remove this one and be able to see what I'm doing. You get? So let's go back to our money manipulation layer. So see that it's actually very simple. But when you see it, look very interesting. See how was this guy able to achieve something like this? So let's just continue. This is actually how we'll be able to wrap it around the image. First, I will do it again, which will be for another money now. Like I want to pick this 500 naira. So I'll click on the 500 naira. It takes me to the layer. I will hold my control, then follow my mouse. Once I hold control and come to this little image, you will see the mark we sign. Just click on it. It will select your image automatically. Once it selects your image, Control C to copy it, then Control D to deselect. And then you just go back to file again. You go to, before going to file, make sure you are currently on your money manipulation layer. You get, once you click on it, go to file, then click on vanishing to a vanishing point. You get, it takes you back to this area. So you want to keep creating your perspective in a way. You always go here, you see create plan tools or press C. Once you click create it, then you see this shape. You can just come here, drag it again down. Drag it again down. So once it shows red like this, it means that probably it's not correct. You can always make adjustments. Once it shows yellow, it means that probably it's not too, it's like almost right, but you can still work with it. You get, so once you create it this way, you can see what I'm doing. It's changing from red to blue. Blue means it's actually good to go. You get, once you click on it that way, you just press Ctrl V again to bring out what you copied the other time. And T to be able to make adjustments on it. So you can always increase it, decrease it. Once we bring it to this, you can see we are started working. This is actually what they call photo manipulation. Get, can just, so we've been able to create an effect like this. So once you do that, just click on OK. What's going on? Yeah, OK. You can see how we are making progress with what we are doing. Making progress. Now, what do we need next? Go back to we need this 200 naira. So the same process I used, that's what we are going to use. Click on your 200 naira. It automatically stays on the layer. Then click on your control. Then once you click on your control, just come to this angle right here.
I have a question.
Yeah, no wala. Ask your question, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Speak up, sir. Am I?
Okay, thank you. The thing is, yeah. The thing is, I can hear you too.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's this icon that you use in selecting this building. Where is it coming from?
Okay, the building.
That you said it's returned to yellow.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to work on it.
Yeah, there's one icon that normally.
Okay, I'm going to work on it now. You get, once I work on this now, I will be able to identify it to you right now. Okay, thanks for bringing my attention to that. If you have any question, I beg ask. So that's actually why we are having a live class. You get, so once you come here right now, just click on your control, then this macro tool, copy it, Control D to deselect. Once you get to that point, then come back to your money manipulation layer. Once you get there with the money manipulation layer, and what's next? We are going to go to our filter again, go to the vanishing point. Now, I click outside, that's actually why it's blank this way. Now, what the question you ask is that follow my mouse. I just go to this corner here. This corner, you will see create plan to, or you click C. Can you see it now? So once you click on it, it will show these dots. Then you can now follow it and create another plan over here. This is actually a very tricky one. This one gave me so much issue today. So we've been able to create. You can always make adjustments to whatever you are creating. Like, see the way I'm making adjustment. Let's see. Something like, you see the way I'm able to make adjustments like that. So once you click on your Control V, then T to be able to make adjustments, can reduce it here, then drag it into it. You can see the moment I drag it into it, actually makes sense that way. So you'll be able to walk around it that way. So it's as simple as that. Once you click on your OK, it actually shows on it. So you can actually see the way we are doing it, So we are actually making progress so far. Now let's add it to another thing. If you see the way I repeat this style, you should be able to grab it. If you don't grab it the first time, the second time, this is the first time we'll be going around, because we are wrapping the money around the image. So what next are we going to do? We want to make 100 naira. So just the same process. Hold your control, come here, click on it, select, Control C to copy, Control D to deselect. Then you go to your the layer we want to work on, the manipulation money layer. Then you go to your filter and click on again on the vanishing points. It takes you back to where we are always doing our stuff. You get, go back to the play points you asked about, click on it, then you draw it again. So you see, it's showing red, right? You can always make adjustments to all of these things. And I always say, okay, let's see it this way. Let's do it this way. See, it shows probably the kind of color that might work for you. So it's showing blue now. It means that, okay, you can work for this. I'll work for something like this. You have to be very careful. So you've gotten to that point, you get. So you've been able to create that. You click on your OK. Or let's Control V to paste that thing we've copied. T, so we'll be able to make adjustments to all of these things. Then bring it carefully into what we are doing. Let's reduce it so it can enter. You can see. You can always make adjustments to it. So just be very careful around it. Very careful. So we've been able to make that adjustment. Let's just click OK because of time. I can actually make more adjustment, but we've been able to create stuff like this. So let me change the background to white now. To change the background to white, click on the layer, go here, follow my mouse at the foreground color, then click on white. Yes, it doesn't change automatically, but once you click Alt Delete, it changes automatically. It's that simple. So in case you are seeing all of this for the first time, that you're saying, I don't understand what Alt Delete means, I don't understand. Just over time, you get yourself familiar with some of these shortcuts. It's because of time. That's actually why I'm using shortcuts, because we have 30 minutes more to the end of this class. So once you'll be able to create that, you see, if I remove the distance, you can see our image. You can see. Let me remove all of this money so you can actually be able to see. Control G to group, then remove everything. So you can see what we are working on. Now, there was something I did the other time when I removed the background. I said I want to be able to go back to the background, when I go able to go back to the image and cut out the background. What did I do? I I did select the select marks of a thing. So if I click on my select marks again, I can be able to go back to the original image and be able to work on it. So once I get to that, if you start deleting your objects like this, you will see it will start adding to it. You can see it's adding to, but this is not what we want to do. So we'll just, if you, in case you are not aware, what I did was that I come here to the polygon lasso tool, click on it. That's actually how it will bring this to, because it might not bring that initially. So you can always get there from the polygon lasso tool. Just click on it, hold your hot, because you want to subtract. We are not adding to it. So just hold this like this, drag, just be clicking and dragging. You see, we are removing it already. You can just come here again, or minus, yeah. It's adding to it. Control Z. Let's try it again. Make sure it's minus. Once it's minus, you can see my mouse now. Once it's minus, it means it's going to subtract. Once it's plus, it means it's going to add to it, meaning that it's going to review the layer. If you want to minus it, you just click on hot. Then once it's minus, you can now start dragging. You can see we are able to remove our background that way. So we'll be able to, if I click on OK now, you can see we've been able to achieve that plainly and very, very smart. So because I will be working with all of these layers together, I've been able to group it. So let me just group it with the background. Hold your control, then click on the layer, then group Control G to group it together. So I can scale it up and increase it that way. See, I can, because I've grouped it together. So what next are we going to do? So let's add it. Let's add the box to it. So add the box, add picture to your a solid color to your box. Go to your property here, then you can actually pick a color around the side. You get. So what next are we going to add to it? Let's come here now. Sorry, let me create some of my. These are actually some of the tools I use to achieve my stuff. Just the way you can drag your picture from anywhere into the layer you are working on. Once you drag it inside. So here I want to power click all of these things into this triangle I just created. Well, I will just make sure that first my image is actually on top, because I want to add a little bit of depth to my design, because I don't just want it to be very flat and plain that way. So all I do is just click on it this way. Then once you click on it, it's automatically on the layer. Then hold your Alt and make sure your cursor is between the image, the layer you are working on, and the layer you want it to enter. So once it's on it, you show that angle sign going down. And then once you click on it, automatically it comes inside. You can see it is inside right now. So that's actually the way. In case you want to probably remove it, it's still the same process. Just hold your Alt, click on it, it has removed. Just make sure that your cursor is between those two layers. You will see it will change the cursor, the distance will change once you click on it like that. So it's as simple as that. You can actually scale it up in a way. Then you can actually change the blend mode to whatever suits your interest. You can actually use this or use a soft light or something like that. So we've been able to achieve that carefully. What else are we going to add to our image? Let's go to our material, and then okay, let's add the text to it. Let's add the text to it. Let's go back to. Let's add the text. every sorry, let me make the text bigger so we can see what I'm writing. So all I did is just to write something because it was small. Then I increased the size and gave it a color. That's actually what I did. Let me see if to this point now. Like, let me now edit what I'm doing so you can add a proper text to it. So let's say I'm writing in capital letter. My cap lock is on. Every budget deserves something. Then I can reduce it in a way. I say, okay, let me put it this way. Then come here. All I did is just to duplicate it. To duplicate it, I just hold my Alt, then hold whatever I'm doing, the initial image, then drag. So that's actually how I'm able to duplicate it. Instead of me writing it all over again because of time. Home. So it deserves a home. I can always increase the size of everything I'm working on. And see it here. Increase the size of everything I'm working on. I say, okay, let me make this a bit bigger and calling for attention. I don't know, working with copywriters, they like, no matter how fine the design is, they want everybody to be seeing whatever they write on it. The designer is striving to say, okay, the design explains itself or explain the copy already, but copywriters will want it like, yeah, that text is not big, make it bigger. So I guess that's actually the way it even works in the real life. My experience, people want to be able to read the text also. So that's actually why we are making it this big. Right? So once you click on it this way, what else are we adding? Let's add another text at the base. The same process I use, hold and drag, holding your HUD, then dragging. Instead of just going about, let's say save today for tomorrow. Tomorrow's what? Dream. Okay. Hyphen or exclamation mark. Okay, so we've been able to achieve that. Just click on it. Then you can always make your adjustments. The more you practice this thing, the more you get yourself familiar. It might be looking like this is actually a magic, but it's really not a magic in that way. So you can just click on it this way. So we've been able to, for you to actually be able to achieve this. Then we are just adding our text. Or if you want to add your text, you text selection tool here. Click on it. Instead of me just going back to it again. It's small. I'll go back to it and increase it. Instead of me going to the property panel to go and increase whatever I want to do or duplicating it. That's actually one thing, just the way I said in our previous class, there's no single way to achieve one thing in Photoshop. Everybody has their style. So it's not as I watched this particular tutorial. They said they did it this way, they did it this way. So it's just understanding what works for you and coming up with something very interesting. And that's actually why you never see me talking down on any particular tool and say, oh, this one uses Canva, this one uses like, once you can create amazing stuff with it and you can sell yourself, you are good to go, regardless. So that's just it. To add a color to it, I go to my properties, then add color. Sorry, Photoshop is giving me this. It's because we are using Crack software. Yes. So okay, then I drag it into a place where you can see it. The reason why you can't see it is number one, because it's white, and number two, because it's actually under. So if I go to bring my layer on top, the way Photoshop is being arranged is like you only see what is on top. So in case you can't see you are typing something, you can just go back to your layer and go and check. So I brought it up so that you guys can be able to see it right here. You can just like, okay, you've added this to it. And then hold your HUD again, drag. I want to add another stuff to it. Let's say visit www. So visit www.land what did I use in the distance? Landmark. Okay. Landmark saving.ng. You get. You can always reduce the work on your properties and probably give it something like okay, be able to work on that. Okay. So once you get to that point, I should be zooming in actually if I'm working closely so you guys can see what I'm actually doing here. So once you've gotten to that level, here I want to still increase it to make it a little bit bigger. Making it bigger is a good thing. Yes. So there's something I want to probably do to it again, and that is actually I will get there. We'll get there actually. That would be probably something we'll do the last time before leaving. We've added all our text to it. Now I did something very interesting. Let me bring in this Photoshop. Let me bring in an image. Let me bring in this. Now, the same way I power click this inside that triangle, I can power click it into a text also. Yes, I can just make sure it's on your text, not just on your text in terms of the what's it called, the artboard, but on top of your layer. Make sure it's on it. Then go in between that layer and your new layer. Hold your hot, then click inside. Once you click inside, you can see it makes your text look more beautiful. It's giving it a dramatic feel in a way. So you can actually blend it. Your blend too. Let's say something like, see the way I'm blending it, it's changing. It's changing. Let's just leave it at, let's leave it here. Something like this. Just add depth to it. Okay, so we're actually working on our image gradually. Let me bring in something. Let me bring in what's it called? This see the way I drag it inside. Just the way I've been dragging from our previous this thing, from other pages into here. I can drag this one. I want to, let me duplicate this one. The way I'm duplicating my text is also the way I can duplicate this one. Hold your hot, then it changes to 2, then you drag it into 2, like this. So I want to, delete a part of it. I can just use see the triangular macro tool. Just click on it, then come here over here and click delete. The reason why I can't delete it, well, number one, I need to rasterize my layer, maybe so I can be able to effectively work on it. That actually gave me the error sign. If I click on this now, I can delete it. And I'll say, okay, I've been able to delete that one. Control D. Let me go to the other layer. Okay, so I just click on that one too. I just say, okay. I just delete it. You see, it's giving me another. I can't delete it. I have to, always to rasterize it. I just click on what? Right click on it, then click on rasterize layer, then delete. Over. So in case your macro tool is still very much there, you can always click Control D to deselect. Yeah, so you can actually now bring this and position it here. See that our image is actually, our design is actually getting complete right now. You can always, whenever you are designing, please always use your grid. I learned that the hard way. I used to think my eyes was good enough to see things until I was send design to clients and they will be viewing it from a bigger system. And me that I'm working on it, I won't see those alignment error. They'll just be seeing it and be complaining about my work. Yeah, so you see that our designs are coming into shape like this.
Yes. Sorry, yeah, how do you apply the grid? How do you bring
okay now just see, you can see on my screen right now, you see some numbers on top like this. In case you are on a system where it's not there, you just go to your Windows. On your Windows, if you are looking for any properties you need for your design, you can always find it under Windows. For instance, you are looking for your layer, probably it's hiding somewhere, just click on it. Just click on it, it will show again. So I don't think the grid is actually not here. Okay, yeah, ruler rather. It should be here as ruler. Let me see how. Okay, it's under view. You see, it's checked. It's because it's there. So that's actually, in case it's not on your system, it will be there. So once it's there like this, you can always drag it. Just like there are different ways to apply grid, but this one is actually something like a ruler. You can, what I applied is not grid, it's a ruler. Just to make sure that okay, there's a margin. Sometimes if you are designing for prints, there is always a margin you have to put so that your printer will not cut out your designs in a way. So you can just add it just to make your work look very professional. You get, so that's the way it is. Let me add a logo to it in a way. So you can just say, okay, let's add the logo. Let's say what's the name of our this thing? Landmark what? Landmark microfinance bank. So once you get to that point, we are almost done now. We just add the background, and once you add that, actually you can always add your icon to it right now just to make it very interesting. Yes, I don't have the icon here. I'll probably search for it before leaving. So what I need to do the other time is to add shadow. Almost done now. I just want to achieve that particular one. What else do I have opening in particular? Now it's just the same drag and drop option. Okay, let me go back to it. Once I click on it, you can see the way I'm moving it. I can just move it, then bring it to the layer I'm working on. Yes, and place it on it. It's as simple as that. So it's because I don't know where I put the original images, I have to just bring it inside. Yeah, so that's actually the way to achieve something like that. Okay, so it has appeared here. So I can always increase the size. Once I increase the size here, then you see it's actually on my image here. If I drag it down, just drag it down so it can be at the back of my original. You see, it's giving me a color, and I don't want this color to be. All I just do is just go to the lower part of your layer, click on it. Once you click on it, it gives you the option. You'll see hue and saturation. Click on the hue and saturation, then you begin to affect the color. You see, you just want to pick a color that suits well. Once you get that, make sure you power click your hue and saturation on the image you are working on, or else the rest of the image at the below part of it will be affected by it. So to power click on it, you just need to use your HUT. Then the same way we have been doing, just click on it so that it doesn't affect any other image at the lower part of it. So we've been able to add that. Then what else will I add? Probably add a little bit brush on it so it doesn't look just okay. Change your foreground to black so it can look very, very, very interesting. You get? So we just want to make it look very purplish. So I add a little, what's it called? A little a new layer to it, then make sure my foreground, instead of just doing it at purple, see the way it's spoiling it this way. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. All I just do is just increase it, then reduce my opacity to probably, let's say 31. Then I begin to apply it small like that. I'm applying it small, applying it small, applying it small. I can actually use what's it called multiply so as to make it give a glowing effect to achieve this background, because this background is actually crucial to what this particular image is actually crucial. The shadow is actually crucial to what you are trying to achieve here. Click on it, then come over here, and let's do something like an effect like this, just to add to it.
I'm not sure if I'm coming on this side.
So once you be able to achieve that, then let me just remove it from somewhere. I will explain it in our next class how I was able to achieve that. Class material, class, another class, right? Okay. I will explain it in our next class how I was able to achieve stuff like that. I don't know why it's really not giving me the angle I want, because this perspective has to be very, very realistic. Yes, so it's still loading. I did two styles. I did this and this also. You get? Can you see my screen? You see the way I was able to achieve the perspective. Although I use perspective and I use scale, but I don't know why it's like it's really not giving me close to what I want again. And one thing that actually it happens to design, even not for time. Once I am faced with that kind of stuff like that, I will Google it. I will go back to YouTube. Because, for instance, this concept like this, I learned it today. This using photo manipulation style, I actually learned it today, and it's just watching tutorial videos. Once you understand the foundation to this design, nobody's going to teach you everything. That's one thing I do tell design. Like, nobody will sit you down for the class, pay 150K for the class. Nobody will teach you. They will just teach you the foundation. Then learning from the best designer will never make you the best designer. You have to use your level of practice. Just keep practicing. So once you practice, that's what separates everybody. So what people are expecting today is that they want you to to be able to hold their hand and just be like chasing them up and down. And you won't make money now. Again, so you have to practice. So instead of all these tutorial videos we are having, it's not so that you guys can just like say, oh, these are our first class since we started. Yeah, it's so that you guys can be able to practice all of these things. So I brought the shadow. Yeah, you can actually see we have a complete design right now. You get? So compared to this, you can see this is the way we are able to achieve something like this, and we're able to have something like so. Everything is just in case you are faced with anything, even not for time, I will probably on your feet in front of you, I'll go to YouTube how to get a perspective shadow, a realistic perspective shadow. You get to go back to it. Yeah, I don't know why it's really not giving me what I want. So that's actually why I don't want to. I don't want to teach nonsense anyway. So this can actually work. So in our next class, we'll probably look for a concept around this. And that's just the way it is. So it's you see, I worked on this. Have our design at the end of the day. So it's as straightforward and simple as that. You get so